Hello and welcome to today's episode. My name is Guy, and in today's show we're going to be looking at 10 habits of good GMs, or great GMs, or brilliant GMs, or successful GMs, however you want to phrase it. What makes a good GM good? What makes a great GM great? That's what we're going to be looking at. We're using a new format moving forward, so I want your feedback, please. Is this something that you prefer to what we were doing previously? So what we're doing here is to try and script things, to try and focus things, but without at the same time losing a certain waffling, rambling, wombling approach to life. We've now listed these things, and no video will have more than 10 points for us to work through. So you can kind of keep saying, oh God, he's still got another 5 to go. No, I'm out of this video. I'm out. So let us know what you think. So 10 habits of good GMs, in my opinion. Number 1, they learn, they grow, and they think. And they read things in the right order. They think, they learn, and they grow. What do they think? What do they learn and what do they grow apart from in size? No, we grow our abilities. And that's not, I'm not saying in terms of rule knowledge, we're getting there. I'm not saying in terms of performance. I'm saying in terms of our abilities. So is it the command of the language? Is it creative expression? Is it party dynamics? So is it sociology? Is it psychology? You don't have to become a professor on this. You don't have to become a professional on this. But if you are seeing things that are wrong in your game and you don't try and fix them, then you're not learning, you're not growing, and you're not developing your abilities. That for me is very important. Our knowledge needs to constantly be growing. And I think, people often say to me, they're like, how do you know all this stuff? I watch YouTube videos nowadays. I read occasionally when I have the opportunity. I listen to other people. And when I go to places, I ask questions. It's all I do all the time is like, well, hang on, how did they do that? And what did they do with this? And how did they get that? So you've got to get your knowledge up. You've got to grow your knowledge. What does it take to be a good GM? A good general knowledge is very important. And oftentimes you don't know what you don't know. So you need to know in order to know, Understanding. This is the important thing to me. And this is, as a lecturer, I used to focus specifically on this when I was working with students, is if you have all of this stuff, you've got the great abilities, you can do multiple accents and all kinds of different voices, and you can intimidate and replicate a very old person or a very young and brave. You've got all the abilities, you've got all of the knowledge. Oh yeah, you know all about Nebuchadnezzar and his little tower. You've got all of that stuff. But if you don't understand how it works, what have you got? You've got nothing. So understanding how this stuff links together into your game is important. And that's hopefully what this whole channel has been about, is about saying, okay, well, we've got all this stuff. How do we do that? How do we understand? How do we incorporate? So learn, think, and grow. Train. People go, oh, I really want to be like Matthew Mercer. Oh, he's so brilliant. Oh, gushy. Well, sure, he's a very good GM. He's a great GM. Of course he is. He loves to tell his stories. He doesn't not do any of these, though, let me tell you. Skills. You train your skills. You're not just actively learning. You're training them. If you want to do great voices, you've got to train. I've been doing crazy voices since before I can remember, and my voices are still pretty shite, to be perfectly honest with you. It takes a long time to learn how to master things, and you've got to listen and go, oh, you have to train your skills. You have to look at techniques. How do people do that? How do you be more creative? What are the techniques that allow me to do that? So by watching these YouTube videos, you're learning. By implementing what these videos do, that's when you're training. Now, the gym for me is something that I know how the body gets fat. I'm pretty much an expert on that. With regards to the training side of things, I'm busy. I'm saving Mordor. Rules. You train with rules. You learn the rules, but then you have to learn how to implement those rules, and you can only do that by training. And then preparing. You have to prepare. And that means maps, story, NPCs. And even if you are someone like myself, I hate preparation. I really do. Fantasy Grounds and running my games online has forced me to prepare more than I normally would. I create maps and NPCs and encounter builds and all those kinds of wonderful things that everybody else says you should be doing. I'm now forced to do those. I use them. I have seen benefit in them. When I'm running my own home games, will I be doing the same thing? Now moving forward, yes. But I hadn't beforehand. I would wing it. I'd make up maps on the fly. And if you look at my earlier videos on my channel, that's all it was. Impromptu stuff, story on the fly, map on the fly on the fly. All that kind of stuff used to be improv, improv, improv. But once you start preparing, you start to elevate yourself up the chain, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, 4, patient. A good GM, a great GM is patient. And that's not necessarily meaning that you are going to wait forever. You control the pacing of the game. So there is a major factor. You are patient. I will wait. I will be calm. I will explain. I will facilitate learning. I will help you to learn the game better. Now, as I've said before for the last 3 times, that's a D20. Now that was passive-aggressive training. That's very bad. It should simply have been, oh, that's a D20. You can always remember it because it's the one that's the most circle-like. Yeah, the D12 is kind of more, it's circular, but it's smaller too. Do you notice that? Or that's the green one, and the red one is the D12. Try and remember it that way. So calm, explaining, facilitating. Never mean, vicious, or vindictive. We're going to get to a point later on where this does have a limit. Fair. You need to be fair. You need to be fair. And this is why when we have our significant others, for those of us that have got them, you need to be fair when you are adjudicating, when you are running the game at your table, when you are allocating time, you are allocating monsters, you're allocating stories. It must be fair. It must be equal. Literally bounce through each and every single one of your players, because otherwise favoritism will creep in. You have to be impartial. Oh, your favoritism should be towards the player group as a whole. The party should continue forward. So there should be favoritism there in their side, in their favor, a little bit more leniency, but not to each oh, shame. Well, you know, this person's got that and this person's got that in their lives, and oh, he's stressed at work. So I'm going to let you off the hook, but not you. You've got a great life, so you get punished. No, impartial. Everyone gets punished equally here. And expanding. When you are being fair, you expand opportunities. So rather than constraining opportunities, rather than going, oh no, well the book says you can't do it. Yeah, that's fair if everyone gets the same treatment. But you can also expand a little bit. You can make it a bit more. But make sure that you are fair to everybody. Saying no. It's difficult. It's difficult for some people to say no. For some cultures, it's as easy as saying yes. It's easier as a matter. No. Just no. Can I do it? No. Can I do it? No. No. For some other cultures, mine in particular, saying no is very difficult. Can I do this? Well, I'd prefer it if you didn't. No, but I really want to do it. Could you look at an alternative? No, I couldn't. You see, they said no, so why can't you say no? So no should always be said as a guiding tool. No, I think that would unstabilize the entire game because the characters are a little bit overpowered. It should advance. No, I don't think that character build would work here, but what about this build? It's similar, you've still got similar abilities, but it's just more integrated. So it should advance rather than just deny, and it should encourage. No, I don't think that is a good pact to make in this particular game. I do like your thinking though. Help me, let's work together. Think about, let's expand on that. Let's look for something different that still works. What about this? What about that? So no doesn't have to be an ultimate finale. That's it. No go no further. It should be guiding, it should advance, and it should encourage. We're nearly there if you're keeping track. Right, number 7. Present in game. I cannot tell you how important this is. 10 habits of good GMs and of good people as humans. You have to be present when you're playing the game. I know it sounds weird, and I'm not talking about actually showing up. I'm talking about being centered. I've arrived at the table. I sit at the table. I'm here. I'm not thinking about all the nonsense that's going on around me, behind me. I'm not thinking about their problem at work. I'm centered. I'm focused. And you keep the others centered and focused too. I often find when I'm doing things online, like the D&D game, for example, I'm setting up stuff and I'm making sure my players are ready. And, oh, is the stream working? Is the this, is that? Are the overlays ready? Is it? I'm not centered on the game. And then I've got to do half an hour Q&A with people beforehand, which I love doing. I really love doing. But again, I'm not centered on the game. I'm not there. And then when the game starts, I've got to go, oh, sponsors, I've got to thank people. I've got to do this. I've got to do this. I've got this, that, and the next thing to do. Okay, great. So I very specifically say this, and I know that it's been ripped off before in the past, and I love it because I hope people learn from it. I will often start my session by saying, so, cast your minds back. We sink into. We retreat. We now go to, and then I talk about the location. It's quick, but it helps me to go, everything else is out. I now am focused. So being focused and being centered keeps you in the game space. You're not sitting there going, yeah, your character's attack. Oh God, let me just send that text message quickly. It's bad. It's bad when that happens. So being focused, and you are the focal point. You're the GM, so set that. Organization. I hate saying this because I hate being organized because I'm not particularly bothered. I'm not bothered, right? But planning, access, presentation. Now, when I say these things, planning, when you plan, it's like, okay, so I'm going to have this session. I want this handout. So I'm going to do the handout 3 days beforehand so that I'm not rushed whilst I'm doing it. Yeah, right, like this is ever going to happen. Yeah, so you plan in advance. You have easy access to it. Oh, guys, you've got this map. There's this map that I'm going to put on the table for you. Where the hell did I put it? Oh, I'll go get it. I'll just sit there. You've just broken all of this focus and all of this centering whilst you go and look for it. So before the game, okay, 10 minutes. There we go. Got the map next to me. Got it nearby. Presentation. Okay. How am I going to put the map? Oh, let's just clear everything off the table. Step away from your gaming space. Everything gets cleared off the table, and boom, now we can start. Think about how you're going to present it. Think about the best way to present it. It really helps. It really does. Number 9, helping others. We've kind of covered this. Sharing, teaching, supporting. But it's more than just that. And I learnt this the other day. A player of mine was reaching out to me. They wanted support. They wanted to engage about their character. And I had too much on my plate, and I couldn't do it. It was just too heavy for me. And I realized when I was actually putting these slides together, I was like, you failed that day. You failed that day. You were so bogged down with other stuff that when it came to the game, you couldn't teach, you couldn't share, you couldn't support. Bad GM. I should have centered myself and gone, okay, I'm making time for my player because the player has made time for me. That's important. That's important. I lied. No, I didn't, because it's part of the point. Challenge. Number 10, challenge. Okay? You have to challenge yourself. Do new things. Try out the box stuff. In South Africa, I was so restricted. Oh, I only play D&D or Pathfinder, which is pretty much D&D. Maybe I'll try another system here, or I'll try another system, but I don't really want to play it. I've got my system and it works. Why should I try something else? I've got my particular playing style. Why should I try something else? Go and look at my channel in the early years. There was something where I said, I will never play online because I don't play online. I hate it. Now I only play online. I want to get back to a table, sure, but online play is so cool. And when you look at my online play, it's like, oh, I'm going to do this freeform. I'm not going to do maps. No, I'm not going to use the advantages of playing online. I'm going to try and force it to be my way. I'm not going to try out the box. I'm not going to do new things. And then I start playing online and I start using the stuff. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And even the other day, it's like, okay, we're going to upgrade. We're going to do new graphics. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. So much more entertaining, I think, anyway. So challenge yourself to do new things and then go beyond. So 10 habits, here's 11 and 12, because one of them is to go beyond. Go beyond the status quo. Just take a few minutes and say, I'm going to do better. I'm going to get my players to go, holy God, wow, wow, wow. Wouldn't that be brilliant for just a few minutes of extra effort? But avoid abuse. Do not be used as a source of entertainment, where you are the one who is providing the entertainment for your players. It is a cooperative. It is a collective. If you are going beyond, if you are challenging yourself, if you are taking time to spend time with your players, if you are putting all of that in, they must be doing the same thing. Because otherwise they're just abusing you. And you are a cheap night out, because all they have to do is maybe buy you pizza. Maybe they need to show up, or maybe not, depending if they want to watch a new Netflix series that's just dropped. Do not be abused because you are trying to be a good GM or a great GM. That is, in my opinion, what makes a good and a great GM. I don't know why I said good, actually. It should be great GM, because if you're doing all of this stuff, you are a expletive-deleted great GM, to be perfectly honest with you. So let's do that, because we all can. It just takes a little bit of effort. It really does. It's totally doable. And that's it from me for this week. Let me know what you think about this new format. It doesn't really make a difference because I'm recording 7 videos today because I'm going to be in Africa for 2 weeks. But I would love your feedback on whether you think this works or doesn't work. Until next time, however, I wish you and yours the very happiest of gaming.